So it took me 8 long years to divorce myself of the idea that Doctor Who is science fiction. I know it's weird, but because it's dressed up like science fiction, I want it to be science fiction, but Doctor Who is clearly not science fiction. It's fantasy dressed up like science fiction. A lot of the stuff that happens in Doctor Who, because it's done from a science fiction point of view where there's spaceships and aliens and whatnot, uh, looks like science fiction, but there's a lot of magic that happens in this show. There's a lot of ridiculous, madcap, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff that is outside of the bounds of even the furthest stretch of science fiction. Because at the end of the day, science fiction should be something that you can kind of explain. Doctor Who does not pass that test. In this season, the moon is a giant egg. In this season, a little boy comes back from heaven. And so I am talking to you about not just this season of Doctor Who, but specifically about last night's episode, about the Death in Heaven episode. I just wanted to preface that by giving you a general idea of what my thoughts of the season were. I have to say this was a fantastic season. This was one of the best seasons I've seen in a long time. The series finale was not as good as the best season finales in this new incarnation. The best two being the Parting of the Ways series finale with Rose absorbing the Eye of Harmony or the Heart of the TARDIS, and the Big Bang, which was by far maybe the best thing that Stephen Moffat will ever write. That episode, those two episodes, were so on point that when people expect things from Moffat, that is the reason why. Because he did that. I surprisingly love Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, and I love him less in this two-parter, but I love him more in the episodes that preceded this. The first 3 episodes were they seemed like they were kind of written for a Matt Smith. That kind of two-dimensional kind of madcap character that Smith and Tennant tended to play, where Capaldi brought a couple more dimensions to the character than they did. But it looked like once Stephen Moffat started co-writing the stories, he understood the actor that he hired to play this role, and when he started co-writing the stories, like, listen, then you really got a sense of the character that Matt Smith transmogrifies into, the Peter Capaldi character. He's not humorless, but his sense of humor is much drier. But because his humor is dry, he seems more Machiavellian, but they're all Machiavellian. All of the Doctors are Machiavellian. And in all of the previous seasons, the Doctor has had this idea of who he is. And this season was kind of about who the Doctor is. And at the end of the day, I actually really, this is the one part of the series finale that I love. One of the parts I really loved is that he's kind of just an idiot who has a box that can do things, and that he helps people sometimes. But he's not good or bad. He's just like everybody else. He's just doing his best. And that is a very powerful point, but it says a lot more about this incarnation of the Doctor being more of a three-dimensional character, of somebody who's not legendary, who is not this mythological hero. He's just a crazy guy with a blue box. That's fantastic. Michelle Gomez as the Master, or as the Mistress, I don't really care what you call her, is incredible. You could not have picked a better actress to play this character. She plays insane, but she knows exactly what she wants. And that was the other thing that I liked about this two-parter, is the Master's plan. Because the Master is never about conquering the universe in this new incarnation. He's never about taking over the world or doing any of that stuff. the Master is concerned with the Master's relationship with the Doctor. That relationship is the thing that the Master wants to manipulate. Maybe because they're the last two Time Lords, maybe because they're not. I don't know. But that is the thing that they want to manipulate. And they did a great job of, Moffat did a great job of showing how desperate the Master is to control that relationship. And that was what that was all about. And it wasn't until the Doctor saw himself through the eyes of basically one of his peers that he understood. It kind of brought him down to earth. He understood who he was. The things I didn't like about this, the soldier part. I think that it was really, really, really noble that this series wanted to say something about our troops and about the sacrifices that they make for us. Oh, I wish it wasn't so ham-fisted. It was really ham-fisted, and it was really badly done. And the kind of RoboCop moment, I guess everyone's calling it the RoboCop moment, where Danny Pink won't hurt Clara Oswald because there's a promise. That was so bad. Clara Oswald is a fantastic character up until that point, but that was just, they could have done that better. And as strong as this series has been, I kind of just expected more. I mean, it just seems like Moffat didn't want to do that, and it was shoehorned in by the executives. And that's too bad, because he built a relationship with the Doctor as a military leader and how he reacts to others, and the relationships that he builds, that he shows in this, that Moffat shows in the series, are from the point of view of a military commander and the people who are under him. So when the time comes for them to make this big statement about soldiers, it was just bad. It was not well done. And I wish it would have been more powerful. Danny Pink makes a sacrifice. In fact, the second part of that sacrifice is more powerful than the first part, where they have the big speech and the violins and all that stuff. That was not particularly good, but the point where he can come back from the dead, and he gives his ticket back to the kid that he killed. That was beautiful. That was what I wanted from, like, the big violin-y part. But I'm glad that I got that part. But by the time that part arrived, the big violin-y part was so thuddishly awkward that the other part just didn't really fly. Cybermen's fly now. I was sad to see her go. I like the fact that the Master got away. Did anybody catch that? The Master got away. So we'll be seeing Michelle Gomez again. Yay! Michelle Gomez is awesome as the Master. I can't wait. Other than that, this was like a solid, like, B+ episode or two-parter. Doctor Who two-parters, in my opinion, are notoriously bad. And this one was not bad. This one was not great. There were some parts of it that need to be fleshed out a little bit more. But other than that, this was a really solid two-parter. It wasn't the best series finale. But, I mean, when you're shooting for the parting of the waves or the Big Bang, then and you just fall just short of that, you've actually done pretty good for yourself. So, well done, Doctor Who team, crew. I can't wait for the Christmas special. Thank you for continuing to entertain us on both sides of the Atlantic. And I look forward to more seasons with Peter Capaldi, with Jenna Louise Coleman, and with Stephen Moffat. Take care.